In a moment, I'm going to reveal to you how you can have your own killer apps up and running in the App Store and making you money by next week, even if you have zero coding skills and don't have a clue how apps work. And believe me, if I can do this, so can you. In fact, it's all practically done for you. But first, I want to tell you the true story of how this all came about. How did I go from being just an ordinary guy working an ordinary 9 to 5 job to building an $800,000 a year business from scratch? Well, allow me to introduce myself. My name is Kwok Bui. I'm 30 years old and first started out my career as a software engineer. Back in 2008, my buddy Pat and I were playing a round of golf and we started talking about the insane amount of revenue that developers were making on the App Store. Being a couple tech geeks ourselves, we talked about how cool it would be to release our own app one day. That said, the very thought of creating an app and making it available for the entire world to use almost seemed impossible. Despite the fact that we'd always had a passion for the latest gadgets, Pat and I really didn't have a clue about iPhone app programming or where to start, let alone how to earn a life-changing income by selling iPhone apps. See, when you're working a 9 to 5 job and have very little spare cash, the thought of turning a simple idea into an $800,000 a year business seemed a little unrealistic, to say the least. Especially if you have no technical experience to even pull something like that off. So for the next few months, I never really gave much thought to it. Sure, I read a couple of books, but I didn't really have a lot of spare time and the whole programming thing seemed far too complicated anyway. And then came Christmas of '08. One evening, my roommate Richard and I met with a few friends at our local bar. Richard was a medical student at the time and is now actually a fully qualified doctor in Los Angeles. And there's a reason I'm telling you that, which I'll reveal in just a second. Anyways, we got talking and one of the topics of conversation was that ridiculous app iFart, this new iPhone app that was all the rage in the app download charts and had recently generated over $27,000 in sales in a single day. It was at this exact moment that I decided to begin my quest. After all, if someone could really make so much money from an app that plays silly fart noises, I knew that I could get a piece of the pie. One thing led to another, and with my creative juices flowing, and thanks to a few too many beers, I asked the waitress for a pen and started jotting down ideas on the nearest napkin. By the end of the night, we'd come up with an awesome idea for an app. We'd use Richard's medical knowledge to create a physical exam essentials guide for medical students and professionals. At the time, there wasn't really anything like it on the market, and with tens of thousands of apps selling for 99 cents and more these days, I figured we might be able to make some decent side money and split the profits 50-50. After all, you hear amazing stories of people raking in massive amounts of cash from iPhone apps such as iFart, Angry Birds, Doodle Jump. It really makes you start to dream, what if it was all possible? So over the coming weeks and months, I spent all my spare time reading books like The 4-Hour Workweek and literally pored over every single article, fact, and blog I came across in an attempt to discover how to create apps. I studied the techie stuff like programming and design, asked questions of experts, and was constantly on the lookout for any tips, tricks, or strategies that could help me along the way. But as inspiring and as informative as it all was, I have to admit that I almost gave up. It was simply too much to handle while working a full-time job. See, even though the web is full of tutorials and guides on how to make your own iPhone apps, they all seem to be aimed at coders and people who already know about mobile app development and programming. You'll know this if you've conducted research of your own. Now, I'm sure there are some people out there who enjoy getting their hands dirty and creating their own stuff, and I'm sure you'll agree with me here, I for one did not want to sit tied to a screen all day fiddling with lines of code. I wanted results fast. The only problem was I didn't really know anything about the market and I had very little spare time to learn. And then, almost like a bolt of lightning, it suddenly hit me. There are people out there, experts in China, India, Malaysia, and the Philippines, making these iPhone apps every day. In most cases, they're literally being paid pennies to create high-quality apps for multi-million-dollar media companies. I said, screw this. I quit my job and worked like a madman over the coming weeks to do everything in my power to make sure I was successful. And I actually did it. I built 3 app companies from the ground up in just 2 months, all through the power of outsourcing. And over 4 years, an astonishing 70 apps and 45 million downloads later, I honestly have to say I haven't looked back since. See, like most things in life, it's amazing how easy it is once you know how. But instead of spending months, heck, maybe even years trying to figure everything out, you can simply hire a team of experts to do the hard work for you at a fraction of the cost. Initially, I was a little scared about the potential language barrier too. But it turns out that most of these guys actually speak better English than I do. It's a complete no-brainer. Outsourcing frees up time for me to focus on things like coming up with new ideas, revenue streams, and it means I'm no longer limited to what I can do with my own hands. But before we go any further, let me prove to you that this is real by showing you exactly how much I made from free apps in December of '09. And I'm not showing you this to brag or anything like that. I'm simply trying to show you that it is possible. As you can see, that's over $56,000 of pure profit from free apps, just 12 months after my initial brainstorm on that beer-stained napkin. In fact, here's a quick screenshot of that physical exam app I was telling you about earlier, the app that was released in 2009 and is still making money today. You can actually see the pictures of me being used as a medical model just to save money. So yes, it can be done. And this wasn't just a one-hit wonder. 3 years after I started, one of my companies was bought out for over $2 million in cash and stock by a publicly traded company. So you may be asking, well, what does any of this have to do with me? And the answer is that it's got everything to do with you. See, the way I see it, most of these make money online things don't work anyway. They're all based on outdated methods or doing something that so many others are already doing and the value is long gone. But because you're smart enough to keep watching this eye-opening presentation, and whether you understand how apps work or not, I'm sure you'll agree that the mobile revolution is only just the beginning. And this is your opportunity to get involved right from the very start. Just think of how far mobile phones have come over the last 2 to 3 years. In fact, in the second quarter of 2012 alone, the iPhone App Store generated some $1.33 billion in revenue for app developers and content makers. And that's not even including Android or Windows markets. The point I'm making is that this is serious. It's not just some get-rich-quick scheme or secret loophole that some guy discovered under a rock, a story you've probably heard a number of times before. How would you like a slice of a $1.33 billion pie or more as this stuff continues to grow? After all, isn't that why you're still here watching this video? So whether you think you've got the next big iPhone app idea, and who doesn't, and if you want to earn a decent second income but don't have the time to learn about software or spend thousands on expensive programming equipment, I promise you're in the right place. The App Shortcut is a fast start training kit that contains absolutely everything you need to get started, including a step-by-step instruction manual walking you through everything you need to do from start to finish. I've designed this whole thing to be as simple as possible for you, to ensure it finally breaks down all the barriers and shows you how to quickly start earning a decent second income. And if you want to scale this up and start earning 5 to 6 figures, I'll show you exactly how to do that too. I didn't just want to put together an ebook and say, there you go, that's what to do, now go on and get with it. Not a chance. What I wanted to do here was go way above and beyond the Call of Duty and make it as easy as humanly possible for you to succeed with this. So I'm going to give you the source code for 2 of my very own apps, which lets you simply take the code, edit it to make it your own, or hire someone to do it for you like I suggested earlier, and then upload it straight to the App Store. What's more, these apps have been created by my personal network of industry experts and professional coders, and in actual fact, many of the apps you see live in the App Store today are built upon the exact same code. So getting approved to the App Store, which normally takes a week or 2, is now a quick and easy process. So do you want to know exactly what they do? Well, the first is kind of like a soundboard app, based on a similar concept similar to iFart, where you basically press a button that plays a variation of noises. So for another example, you might be able to customize it to include a range of farm animal sounds or quotes from TV show or from a character. And of course, depending on what type of sounds you want your app to play, you can change your market to suit. And remember, if I can do this with absolutely no technical experience, and silly apps like iFart can make 30 grand in a single day, what's stopping you? You can customize your apps to your heart's content to make them 100% unique, meaning there's virtually zero competition. Don't forget, once you've cracked one market, you can simply start again from scratch while the sales continue to roll in, and repeat the entire process with a different target market. I'm handing you the keys to an amazing picture app that will allow you to recreate some of the most popular apps in the App Store today. Seriously, the functionality and things you can do with this thing are crazy. Here's how it works. The user basically takes a picture of a person or an object, and then the app gives them the ability to add funny graphical elements to the pictures. They can then send that picture to their friends or upload it to Facebook or Twitter using the social sharing features included. Now, in case you're wondering, there are a small number of apps out there already who've been using similar code for a while, and the results they're getting are awesome. Here's one called Zombie Me, where a user takes a picture of themselves or a friend and can then customize their appearance by adding blood, skulls, teeth, basically making them a zombie. And remember, if I can do this with absolutely no technical experience, and silly apps like iFart can make 30 grand in a single day, what's stopping you? And once again, the possibilities of what you can do with these 2 source codes are only bound by your creativity. You can edit the source code either by using the easy step-by-step instruction manuals included, or hiring someone else to do it for you, just like I did. And if all that sounds a little bit confusing, don't worry. It's actually a lot easier than it seems. And with my Fast Start training guide, I promise you'll be up to speed in almost no time at all. The entire process is actually great fun once you get to grips with it. And these sorts of apps have a huge following in the App Store, meaning more money for you. And in case you're wondering, this code has been recently updated to be compatible with all the iPhones, including the new iPhone 5 and the iPad. You name it, I've got every angle covered. So as long as you're willing to do a little bit of work, and remember, there isn't actually much work involved at all. As long as you follow my instructions and hire a low-cost professional to do it all for you, this truly is a ready-made business in a box that you can go ahead, implement right away, and start making money from. Remember, you've also got all the professionally created, done-for-you source code included, meaning I'd go as far as to say you'd struggle not to succeed with this. You really can have your own apps live in the App Store and making you money ASAP. No overheads, no dealing with physical customers, no selling, nope, none of that stuff. You're going to learn everything from how to come up with ideas, even if you're completely clueless, and apply our 5-step app creation process from initial notes right through to submission to the App Store. How to create a business entity to protect you and your business and take advantage of tax write-offs that you can save cash. How to use the Apple Software Development Kit to make and edit your own apps, even if you have no techie skills whatsoever. How to hire and manage a team of developers for cheap, including how to sketch out your idea and create specs to send to your developer. How to submit your app to Apple and promote it to make money once it's live in the App Store. And much, much more. Initially, it took me well over a year to figure all this stuff out, but I've crammed every tip, every trick and strategy I've learned into a complete step-by-step guide that you can learn in a matter of hours and leaves no stone unturned. And I want to give you access to it right now for a very low one-time investment that you can quite easily recoup within a week or two if you want to. See, like I said, I'm not a marketer, so when it came to thinking about how much to charge for this, I really didn't know. I certainly don't like ripping people off, and as you may have seen from the earlier income screenshots, I don't really need to be charging that kind of money. All I'm doing here is showing you how to replicate and copy exactly what I did without the need for any fancy marketing skills, coding knowledge, or any expensive equipment. Basically, as long as you're willing to put in a bit of work and can follow the simple instructions provided, you're onto a winner here, and I really mean that. But don't worry, because for the very reasons I've already mentioned, I'm not going to ask you to pay anywhere near $1,000 or even $500 for that matter. In fact, you're not even going to pay $297. If you act today, you can gain instant access to the app shortcut, including the step-by-step training guide and all the done-for-you source code for only $27, but only if you're one of the first people to respond to this video. See, I'm not looking to make millions, but at the end of the day, this isn't a free-for-all, and I'm therefore limiting the amount of people that I share this with to ensure the long-term value for my existing customers and protect this from becoming mainstream. Otherwise, soon everyone will be doing it, and there will be no money left in it for either of us, and I'm sure you'll agree we definitely don't want that. So once I feel I've sold enough, this offer will be ripped down for good. So if you are interested, and I'm guessing you are from the fact that you've watched this far, then I urge you to act fast to avoid disappointment because I promise you, I'm not like the other guys and this offer will not last forever. I still understand that $27 might be a lot of money for you right now. And I get that. Remember, I've been there just a couple years ago, and I know very well what it's like not to have a lot of spare cash lying around. That's why I'm going to make this decision as easy as I possibly can, and this not only proves how much faith I have in my product, but also that I think it will work for you too. So I'm going to put my money where my mouth is and flat out guarantee that you'll see results with this. That's right, at any time in the next 60 days, if for any crazy reason you feel like you don't want to use the app shortcut anymore, just send me an email and I'll send you your $27 right back. No hard feelings. I'll simply hand your spot to someone else. Now, in all honesty, I have a feeling that's not going to happen, but I wanted to let you know that the offer is there so that you feel completely comfortable that everything you're about to get access to and the investment you're making in yourself and your future is totally risk-free. And if you can see the Buy Now button below this video, it means you can get access to the app shortcut right now. So what are you waiting for? Don't waste any more time. Go ahead and click the download button now. Literally within minutes, you could be sitting down, reading through the step-by-step instructions, building your first app, and taking advantage of what I think is without doubt the easiest and also one of the most lucrative business models out there. And I suggest you do it immediately. Otherwise, if you risk coming back at a later date or even waiting for a few more minutes, you might find this offer is closed once and for all. I'm serious. You may well be a bit skeptical, and I think you've heard it all before, but I promise you now, this is not a marketing trick designed to make you buy. This is a real business and these are real results. And sooner or later, this offer will be pulled. So click the button below to gain instant downloadable access to the App Shortcut Training Kit before it's too late. And I look forward to hearing your success story in the very near future.